Hey guys, just a quick video here. In my previous video I kind of gave you my thoughts on what embodies fishing, and I brought up this from my old Bass Club fishing days. This is kind of embodies what fishing is all about. It's about understanding seasonal patterns, the environment, making adjustments, presentation, and all leading to high percentage and ultimately success. So what I want to talk to you today about is presentation, because as you progress in fishing, you'll understand that presentation is really everything. You know, once you establish the area that the fish are at based on your experiences, then if you have a proper presentation, fishing is easy. But you have to realize that not every area of the lake holds fish. There's a very small portion of any body of water that holds the majority of the fish. So you don't want to just throw out your bait and set out your chair and just go to the nearest spot and hope that the fish come along. To increase your success percentages, you want to first of all establish where the fish are at by knowing that they're relating to some sort of feature, right? Bottom feature, like weeds, or maybe the presence of bait fish, or they're relating to something, right? There's something that holds fish in a particular area. Maybe it's the wind and blowing into a cove or something like that, or the wind blowing against a certain bank, creating some sort of current, something like that, right? So then once you establish you're in the right area, it's all a matter of just figuring out the mood of the fish and what they're willing to commit to. And to do that, you usually want to start out by using moving baits, something like, say, a spoon for trout, and just retrieving it, seeing if they're going to hit that, right? Maybe first thing in the morning you might want to throw a buzzbait for largemouth bass or some sort of topwater and see if they're willing to hit it. And if you're getting like little bites but they're missing it, or say, they're just nipping at your topwater bait, then you might have to change your color or your profile of your bait, or go to a different style of bait lure. But let the fish tell you, listen to the fish, let them tell you what they want. Also be very observant of what's going on in the environment. If the fish are just maybe feeding on something off the surface, that'll tell you that you're in the right area. It's just that you're not using the right presentation, right? Because maybe you're not using a fly. Maybe the fish are feeding on bugs that just hatched. And you're there using power bait, right? So, it's a fun game, but you have to figure out the mood of the fish and what they're feeding on. You might have to match the hatch, but first of all, establishes what the activity level of the fish is, and just be observant. Observe other fishermen. If no one's catching fish on bait, you might have to use something else. Okay, you have to. Maybe everyone's casting far, and you have to just cast short. Maybe the fish are shallow, but everyone's casting deep. If the fish are feeding on bluegills, close to shore, you probably have to cast 30 degrees or less to the shore, so that your lure is in the most productive area most of the time, right? You want to increase your percentages of catching your fish, so you don't want to waste a lot of time, half your cast, casting in unproductive water. And then always you want to be stealthy, right? Especially when it comes to big fish. Big fish get big for a reason, because you have to be smart when you present lures to a fish. You can't be, you want to use a natural, quiet presentation in most cases, and catch them by surprise, kind of. You don't want them to know that you're there. That's it. You might have to use, say, a reaction bait, maybe a slow glide bait, and then you give it jerks, and it kind of veers off, and they just hit at a reaction. Or maybe you have to use a heavier rate of fall, heavy bait that has a vertical, fast ready to fall, or you might have to slow it down. But let the fish tell you all that, you know. And that's it, you know. It's all paying attention to detail. You might want to think about line choices and not using too much hardware on your lures that look unnatural. Just have a more natural presentation if you're not catching them. You might have to go to more natural colors. So anyways, that's it. Hopefully that helps. It's just kind of rambling on, but there's a lot to presentation. But again, if you're in the right area and you have the right presentation, then fishing is really easy, and it could be really fun. All right, take it easy.